Captain, good to see you. I found refuge in a city that doesn't belong to Abundance, if you can believe it. But it seems that Victor managed to infiltrate it. I know I'm asking a lot from you, but if you have any information on this...
We're talking about an act of aggression toward a foreign power, and what I'm telling you is akin to treason, Zachariah. It's almost sure that Victor is preparing an attack upon our refuge city, but not with our own troops. From what I was told, he has hired mercenaries and even embedded some of his men. The craziest part of the story is that he's preparing a war without an army, with the sole goal of capturing you. At this stage, that verges on psychosis. He's obsessed with you. Watch out. He's becoming more and more vicious, and he won't stop at anything to capture you and your Technomancer colleagues.
Thank you, Captain.
Hey, officer. Should I be worried about your visit?
If I was still an officer, maybe. I'm as much on the run as you are now.
Maybe I should start calling you something else then. What's your name?
Zachariah.
A pleasure, Zachariah. How can I help you?
I'm afraid that the ASC managed to infiltrate the city where I'm currently living. Thought that maybe you could help me. You seem to be up to date on what they do.
Victor. Our nemesis. Very well. I'll tell you what I know. Victor got his hands on a commercial caravan, tortured its members in order to find out the location of their notorious secret city, the mysterious Noctis. He managed to send some of his men there. So take this with a grain of salt. But now I'm convinced Victor's got both mercenaries and religious dignitaries on ASC payroll there. Watch out, Zachariah.
Thank you, Bulgakov.
Welcome, welcome. What's your pleasure? What are you looking for?
Hey, did you by any chance see a caravan come back from Ophir lately? Would have had some members who might have looked different than they did when they left.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And they're no regular merchants, that's for sure. They've been trying to blend in, imitate our accents, clothes, and all that. But not that well. They try damn hard, though. What happened to the real merchants? No, forget it. I don't even want to know. Scares the hell out of me. Rather not know.
Fair enough. Thanks.
The most exotic goods on the planet. All here, in one stall.
I'm looking for information about a caravan that recently came back from Ophir.
Ah, yes. Yes. The merchants who aren't, you mean? Yes, I knew the caravan's chief. And, yeah, the one who came back kinda looks like him, but sure as hell doesn't act like him. This might sound crazy, but seems to me all those merchants were replaced with... I don't know, but they're not from here. And instead of selling their goods, they're busy asking around about the guards and stock and that sort of thing.
Can you point them out to me?
I could, but I won't. I don't want any involvement. I don't want to be replaced. I'll just tell ya, they've been regular clients since they came back.
Fair enough. I'll just keep an eye on your clients for a while. Thank you.
Repent! We won't have access to the Blue Paradise so long as we are not all absolved of our sins. You came here to wash your soul?
I had something else in mind. I came here to ask for some information regarding your parishioners. Did you notice any strange behavior among some of them?
My parishioner's life is none of your business. You're not one of them, and yet you take the liberty of judging them based on your corrupt beliefs. You are not a believer. You are just one of those pragmatic cynicals, a bad seed.
Listen, preacher, we might have significant differences, but I'm sure that you only want the best of your flock. And I heard that a man from Abundance has tampered with some of them in order to conquer this city. I guess that he spoke badly about me because he knows that I'm against this invasion. I've seen too many people suffer from the war. And in addition to that, Abundance does not tolerate public temples, which would put an end to your lectures.
An invasion? Really? By the shadows! That old son's henchman hadn't told me that. And my temple? You're saying that they're forbidden there? How awful! I must stop that evil being! Send him back to roast under the nefarious beams of his master! I'm surprised his servants weren't mutants, but maybe they were in disguise. More pressing, however, is it that these servants have convinced some of my followers and now have come here to tempt me. Do not worry. The shadow has opened my eyes to save my soul. But has it done so for my followers? The mutation is preparing to make its way towards them. A pity.
Can never be too careful with religious types, so I'll have to keep an eye on these folks. They can spread ideas like wildfire.
Greetings, Zachariah.
I'm gonna need everyone's help. ASC's infiltrated Noctis, and as you already know, that's not a good thing.
We just got away from them. Why can't they just leave us alone? What? What do you want us to do about it? Most of us are terrified of them. They're immune to our powers.
I understand your frustration and your fear. I wasn't there, and don't even want to imagine what they put you through. But we don't back down from fear. We're military. We fight. And I will be damned if we will back down from a few fucking ASC spies with lightning rods.
I hope you can see our secrets at risk. But I agree, the best defense is a strong first attack. If we hide and wait for them, we put our secret even more at risk. So what do you propose we do?
From what I can tell, the spies have weaseled their way into 3 groups, but we can't move until we know which members are from the ASC. Moles disguise themselves as mercenaries, religious zealots, and even merchants.
Then I'll dispatch some eyes to keep tabs on those groups.
Thank you.
After trailing the groups you mentioned, it's obvious that they each have a few people among them who aren't just looking for you, but purposely seeding unrest in the population, and maybe pushing for an uprising.
Then we need to stop it.
Here's a description of everyone we found. Give me your map. There. I've marked every place you can find them. Shouldn't be hard for you to get them now.
Zachariah, I was just starting to worry.
What for?
Bad news, I'm afraid. The ASC's not only in Noctis, but they're starting to threaten its safety. I know you did what you could to get rid of their spies, but if you stay here, they'll come back. And now we may be open to a direct attack from Abundance. I'm sorry, Zachariah. They're after you and your friends. I can't risk the safety of all my people for just you.
So you're turning your back on us?
No, no. I would never turn my back on a friend. I set a meeting for you with the Technomancers from Aurora. Their arms are open. You'll be safer from Victor with them by your side. You just can't stay here.
Why are you helping me?
A scratch on the back for what I hope will be a long-term relationship, Mr. Mancer. They'll meet you under one of their shadow paths. Take the map. You'll be well received. Now get going. As soon as you can gather your things and friends together. The longer you stay, the more danger those of us around you face.
How'd you manage to get in touch with Aurora's Technomancers?
It wasn't easy, but we have agents in all of the corporation's cities. The equivalent of Nisha, but not as easy on the eyes, lives in Shadowlair and was our point on this little mission. Their Technomancers are quite knowledgeable, powerful, and I assume the idea of having one of their counterparts from Abundance join them and give them a little upper hand probably put a few smiles on their faces. But their chief's name, it's slipping my mind. Profanity? No, something more. Chastity, promiscuity, generosity. Yeah, that's the one. Their chief's named Generosity, I think. He's quite chummy with the Dowser wisdom, I hear. Shouldn't be too hard for him to make you feel welcome. So set your mind at ease.
Now we're headed back to Aurora. This is the definition of insanity. Do you think they know how many times I've attacked them?
I'm really sorry, Zach. I'm sure Dandolo would have preferred to keep us all in Noctis. It makes me uncomfortable, but we can't keep Noctis under Victor's crosshairs. He wouldn't hesitate to wipe it off the face of Mars just to get his hands on you.
I don't know about that. Big Bad Victor is definitely a manipulative rat, but he's gonna have a lot of trouble wiping out a city like Noctis using a couple of harebrained schemes.
Do the corporations differ all that much? I know you were raised to think so, but as a mutant, I only see humans bickering over petty squabbles. The differences don't matter now, especially since they're welcoming you with open arms. Supposedly, Technomancers are treated well.
Here's the truth. I know this transition's gonna be hard for you. Aurora may ask you to fight against your former corporation. You may end up on the battlefield against men and women you knew from before. At least there's no chance of coming up against an old Technomancer buddy. because they're all with you. Well, except for that snake Alan. But that doesn't really matter, right?
What bothers me is that they're gonna commandeer my baby. I'm warning you, Zach. I like you, but if they try to take my rover, I'm out. So fucking out. It's me and my rover or nothing.
We're going to take you down! You won't get away!
The last fight before freedom, Zachariah!
Release him. Let him serve as our messenger. I hope, Zachariah, that you'll forgive this little charade. But it was a means to an end, necessary to ensure peace of mind, the safety of Noctis, and those who will now welcome you. The ASC now believes you uprooted yourself to Aurora, where they will never go looking for you. So, keep a low profile here, and you'll have nothing to fear. I hope that suits your needs. To send you to Aurora was never really an option. The political climate is not exactly conducive to a Technomancer. And here you have Phobos, who's offered to open the doors of his home to you. But I'll leave him to explain this better. Your brothers and sisters will follow you. Be well, Zachariah. Oh yes, one last thing before you go. So, I have some troubling news about your friend, Scott.
Where is he?
Mutants spotted him near the Shadow Path. Come here. Let me show you on the map.
Why would he go there?
Haven't the slightest. There's an abundance outpost there. Might have been taken there by force. From what my informants told me, he looked like he was in a precarious situation.
Thanks for the info, Dandolo. Owe you one.
I feel like I got ripped off. Dandolo had planned everything from the start. The costumes, the rover repair, and he even let Victor settle down without a word. All of that just to organize a fake meeting.
What did I tell ya? A douchebag with real nice clothes is still a douchebag. Even though he totally fucked us over, I gotta say, what you just did back there, real classy. Victor the Dictor's probably having a little tantrum.
I'm glad you find it amusing, Amelia. Go south. My people's refuge isn't far away. But you have to know where to look, or you'd never be the wiser.
What's it like? Magical city hidden away in a floaty island or something?
Nothing like that. It's a valley, or perhaps more accurately, a crater. There is vegetation there unlike anywhere else. Truly something you've never seen before.
A secret place that's one of a kind? What the fuck are we waiting for?
I'm used to not being welcome wherever I go, but this place, won't we be despised for who we are? After what they've all been through, the grudges they hold against mankind, are more than understandable. But I'm worried, Phobos. Will your support be enough to grant us safe passage?
I believe so, but I'll also need to ask for Scum's support. He's our best orator, so as long as he's on board, it won't be a problem.
Farewell, Noctis. I'm sorry to have to leave you this way.
I'm sorry, Nisha.
Stop. It's not your fault. It's Victor's. I just hope I can come home soon.
Do your business here, but you cannot enter the valley. No human is allowed there.
There must be a way to make an exception.
Sorry, Phobos. You know that I respect you, but I am following orders. To be honest with you, it is for your friend's safety. I do not know how they would welcome them in there. Maybe if another speaker supported them.
I will go see Scum. I managed to see him. He offered me something. Scum is an important figure here, one of the great speakers. People listen to him. If he supports you, you will be able to get in without being lynched. But he wants you to prove yourself by helping a group of mutants. From what he hears, a group of mutants have escaped a labor camp. They have not arrived here, though, so he fears they have found trouble. We will need to find them and see what has gone wrong. Bring them safely to the valley, and you will not only earn their support, but Scum's as well. Quite the asset.
All right. Do we know how they were supposed to get here?
The shortest and safest route to take is the canyon, right here.
Let's go see what happened to them. These mutants took this canyon we were shown.
Hell yeah, fucking right. There aren't many paths leading to mutant valleys that are safe from the sun. We'll find them.
For a successful escape, the breakout is just half the battle. The other half is diligence. It is likely that they moved slowly and decided to stop and hide at nightfall, so I am not worried. But a little help never hurt anyone. See anything, Amelia?
Nope, but we're still far from that place you showed us. My baby's fast, but it doesn't go the fucking speed of light.
One must muster quite a bit of courage to escape from a city, only to risk it all in the desert, defenseless, while soldiers are in hot pursuit, or have already suffered greatly.
I wonder how long they chase after them once they've left the cities. Most people think it's impossible to survive in the desert. So wouldn't they figure they could let the desert do their dirty work for them?
I hope no one was wounded. Blood attracts creatures of all sorts, predators that'll pounce on the weak.
The day is rising. They must find a place to rest, and this cave is perfect to hide them from both the men and father's son.
But this cave he has a bad feeling. There's danger here from the moment he wakes to.
No, we've already met and defeated danger, overcome it together. So he must stop behaving like a slave. Come!
Move away! Don't be afraid. Scum sent me from Mutant Valley to protect you. We're almost to Mutant Valley.
You have our thanks, man.
Call me Zachariah.
Then you have our thanks, Zachariah. We will not forget what you have done for us. We must hurry now, though. The day is coming.
You're just an old fool, aren't you? Risking your own neck to shelter the rogue. Well, if your neck's no value to you, it's no value to me, either. I'm off to Ophir. Soldiers, Abundance has fed its parasites for far too long. I think it's time we stop some of the leeching.
No, stop! Listen to me. Let me...
If I don't step in, they'll kill him.
Zach, you came. I thought that it was all over. Thank you.
I wasn't gonna let those thugs kill you, but I'd like to know what you're doing here. Why did you disappear?
I was missing Abundance. I was hoping... Anyhow, that was silly. I'm sorry. He tried to torture me, you know? He wanted to know where to find you, but I didn't say anything.
I don't really understand how you ended up here. Anyway, let's get back. You're in bad shape. Made it just in time. That toad could have done some serious damage.
I think I'm gonna hurl.
But this is rather quite fascinating. Did you know that the lichen on its back is not merely a parasite? Well, maybe you... Anyway, they actually have a symbiotic relationship. The lichen cools off the toad's skin, while the toad lets the lichen feed off the ooze. Well, oozing from its pores.
Yeah, now I'm definitely gonna hurl.
Thank the moons. We were able to save them. I don't know if they could have survived without our help. Scum will be happy to see they made it. The gates of Mutant Valley will open wide for you this day, friend.
I'm antsy to get to town. I'm getting tired of spending night after night in this rover.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to bump you up to first class, bitch ass?
No. But even you have to admit, it'd be nice to go to the bathroom with a door.
I'm anxious to meet Scum. He's quickly becoming a legend around these parts. Some people in Noctis talk about him like he's some kind of messiah, even though he's only just been freed from Abundance's prisons.
Yes, he has lived most of his life at Camp 19, but he has shown great wisdom since his arrival, and he is quite the speaker. I think you two will get along very well. I know not a more devout advocate for peace.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
You told me you learned where Scott was from mutants. You mind if I talk to them? Like to find out exactly what they saw.
Have suspicions about your friend, Zachariah? Sorry. None of my business, really. You can find them in Mutant Valley. They only passed through here to pass on some information to me, including the little tidbit about your friend.
Thanks. I'm gonna go find him.
Mutant Valley, here we come.
Someone sounds excited.
Well, duh, the landscape's drop-dead gorgeous. As for the city, integrating with the valley's natural overhangs and alcoves to avoid using a metal dome, pure genius. It makes me worry about getting fried. And we'll always be strangers there.
For now, most mutants don't have an innate hatred for humans. We just need to give them time to heal.
Still, we'll never be able to walk a mile in their shoes. And for that, we'll always be outsiders. I ain't mad, though. If I were them, it'd be my personal mission to fuck up every single humanoid who said good day to me.
Right now, we must focus on uniting our nation. I understand you find it difficult to feel at home, but know that you are a friend, and that as long as I live here, you will be welcome. And when our people are finally free, I know many of my brothers and sisters will welcome you too.
Don't stress out about the roof. You won't be instantly mutated. I have heard tales. But yeah, what a beautiful place. Natural, organic, how refreshing. Humans should take notes.
This city makes me sad.
You're not gonna cry, are ya? I just had these seats cleaned.
I mean, I think I would have liked to, know before of its existence. It's all right. Sad is too grandiose. Wistful? Yes, wistful. By Jove, I've done it.
Zach, can we... We need to talk. Alone.
Sure. What's going on?
I want to keep investigating. Remember what we found in the archives? The secret military shit in Eos Chasma?
Yeah. So how do you want to do this?
We gotta find a way to get into the military archives in Ophir and steal some files.
We don't even know where these files are, Amelia. But maybe I know someone who could point us in the right direction. Eliza Major, my former captain, and have access to all of them.
Ask her to read them and tell us what the hell's in there then. After that, we just gotta get back to the rover and make trails for Eos Chasma.
That road must have been taken dozens of times, Amelia. If your father was there, we'd have found him by now.
That's not true, Zach. Nobody takes that road anymore. Not with the shadow paths. There's no reason to take the rovers that way, since the area's already been mapped out. All he wanted was to find that kid. We should take that road, Zach. Please.
Sure. If that's what you want to try. You know it's been a long time, though, Amelia. The odds of us ever finding him alive...
They don't exist, Zach. He's dead. I know that. Honestly, I just want to know why.
Good to see you. I really need some information about Scott Seeker's son. Like, what happened to him after he got arrested?
You know how monitored we are, Zachariah? What do you want? I go poking around, we could find ourselves fired. Or worse. For a mutant?
Whatever we find isn't gonna bother anyone today, but it could bring some peace to the people who never stopped loving or wondering what happened to the boy. The more I learn about it, the more complicated it gets. I'm just trying to bring some peace, Captain. Just look into some dusty files. No one's gonna care.
All right. Hope you're right, Zachariah. We'll dig into the archives, but it'll take some time. Tomorrow'd be the earliest.
Tomorrow it is. Thank you. I'll come back then. What to find there, Amelia?
I don't know, debris? Tracks? Just something to help me understand how a top reacher like my dad could get lost on Eos Chasma, one of the easiest fucking roads on the planet.
My guess? He got into an accident. Something he couldn't avoid. It's happened to us, after all.
Maybe. I just want to find out. That's all I'm asking.
I fear I may be getting sick.
Sorry, Scott. I understand that looking for the remains of your best friend is probably painful, but Amelia deserves answers.
Sometimes the past just gives us answers we were afraid to know. I just hope that won't be the case this time.
Even if we find the rover wreck, it'd be easy pickings for a passing scavenger or thief. So there might not be much left.
The fuck you say that for?
Sorry, I just don't want you to get your hopes up.
Whoa, Amelia, ease up. I know you want answers, but it's probably best not to crash while looking for a crash site.
You kidding me? Wonder what you'd say if we actually went fast.
I guess everyone's version of moderate is different.
Looks like we found a tablet. And it still works.
Scott, I don't know if you'll ever get this message. It doesn't really matter now, I guess. A my own piece, I just need to... So many things I wish I could tell you. My last thoughts and breaths are filled with regrets. I can't even blame you for sabotaging my rover. I was supposed to be your friend. I was supposed to be there for you. I was supposed to try to empathize with all the hurt and fear you were going through. But all I can bring myself to care about is making you stop obsessing about your son. Make you go back to being your old self for my own benefit. To have my old friend back. It was selfish. I was selfish. Even from the outset. The only reason I ever helped was just to help bring an end to the obsessing. And in the end, my own obsession with that goal led me to take away your son so you would stop. I wanted to take him so far away that you'd have no recourse but to give up hope. But you figured me out. You stopped me, and now I'm paying for it. I'm so thirsty. The rover is becoming unbearably hot. Unbearably hot. Forgive me, my friend, as I forgive you. Tell my daughter I'm sorry for not being courageous enough to keep her by my side. I should have fought for her. Stopped her from being taken away from me. Between the two of us, you were always the better father. Good to your boy. And here I am. Sid, never mind. Farewell, Scott. Take good care of Amelia for me, my friend.
I can't even... He was here the whole time? Not even that far from Ophir. If I ever find out who sabotaged his rover, who's responsible for him dying? You find something?
Yeah, I found this. There's a message on it, Amelia. One you're not going to be happy to hear.
Whatever it is, it's better than not knowing the truth. Give it.
Scott, I don't know if you'll ever get this message. Regrets doesn't really matter. I can't even blame you for sabotaging my rover. I was supposed to be there for you. I was supposed to try to empathize with all the hurt. The only reason I ever helped was just to help bring an end to the obsessing. So far and in the end, that you tell my daughter I'm sorry, but to give up courageous enough to keep her by my side. So I should have fought for the rover. Take good care of Amelia for me, my friend.
Where the hell, Scott? Where is he? I found my father's rover and a tablet he left. You're a fucking murderer. And to think I called you a friend all these years.
What are you... What tablet? What...
You're gonna pay for his death. I promise I'm gonna make you pay.
Stop, Amelia. You have to stop. Your dad forgave him, and now it's your turn to do the same. Your dad felt more pity for Scott than anything. Felt sorry he prevented him from helping his son. Stop, please. What Scott did was awful, but killing him's not gonna bring your dad back. Look at him. You want him to pay, let him continue living. His life's nothing but suffering for him.
I don't give a shit. I barely knew my dad because of him. You fucking pathetic old piece of shit. Get the fuck out. Just get out. Get out before I change my mind!
Sorry, Amelia.
Leave me alone.
This is what I feared. It is better to let the dead rest.
So, you guys don't think it's kind of toasty?
Amelia, look at me. You have to move on. You cannot change the past. All we can do is make the best of the time we have.
Shut up!
Good to see you. So what did you learn?
Strange things. Scott Seeker was, apparently, much more respected back in the day. He even managed to convince the army at one point that he could heal and trigger mutation. The idea of triggering mutations apparently really got some interest, and the army launched a new division and put him in charge. Even brought him a few mutants to run tests on, one of which was his son. Obviously never went anywhere. Nobody got healed. The program was shut down, and the mutants, including his son, were terminated. So sad. Almost makes you want to look at the old man differently.
Yeah, sure does. Thank you, Captain.
If you have a minute, can we talk?
What's this about?
Thanks to you and Scott, I got my abilities back. Doesn't make me a Technomancer, though, does it? Doesn't make me one of you. And I know you all go through a lot of training together, which I never had. Everything I know was picked up from an old renegade Technomancer who showed me some of the basics. Had to trade it for a little serum. But I'm tired of being on the outside. I just want to belong. If you, I guess, think I'm worthy or whatever.
You're right, Andrew. Maybe it is time to initiate you.
How painful is it?
Guess you'll see. They obviously can't use the old site anymore, so you'll need some imagination. But we can give it a go. Come on. There was a pitch-black circular room with a console in the middle. When I started it up, flickering bluish images appeared. A doctor examining a man. The man had apparently undergone a mutation that allowed him to generate a massive electrical charge. He was the first Technomancer, Andrew.
So you're saying you and I are...
Afflicted with a specific mutation that the settlers were studying. It's why they created our gear. You, who has witnessed the secret with your own eyes, who, in your heart, knows the knowledge that he bears is true, and has understood that this knowledge could cast our kind into an endless pit of despair. As you drink the sap of the world, the water that feeds our lives, abandon who you thought you were, and now become our brother, Andrew Mancer. Together, we've shared the water and secret. Now, swear to forever protect the knowledge of the Earth, and dedicate your life to finding it again, to defend and protect our secret, even if you must sacrifice your life to do so.
I swear I will.
Then, welcome, brother.
I want to thank you, Zach. I'm still trying to come to terms with some thoughts and feelings about what we found in the Dome together. What we've found together. All of it. I never felt so close to anyone. No one's ever given me this much before. I guess what I'm saying is, and I don't want to say something that's gonna, whatever, but it made me realize you mean more to me than a friendship. More than... You've become someone I want to be like. No. Someone I want to be with.
It's not gonna whatever me, Andrew. I feel exactly the same way. The same. Next time we're on break, come meet me in my bedroom. If you want.
I do. And I will.
Zach, I can't stop thinking about everything we heard from that dirtbag. Keep hoping it's all just a terrible lie, but if you wanted... There's something that doesn't make sense in this story. I can't come to terms with the idea that he told us the truth, but I'm also struggling to understand why he would have deported our little clique to martyrdom. We were nothing to him. I was told Gloria came to Noctis not long ago. I need to see her again, to confront her about this story, hear what she has to tell me. I could go alone, but it'd mean a lot to me if you came along.
I'm gonna come with you. I also want to find out what this is all about.
Thank you, Zach. That means a lot to me. Gloria, you are... Oh no.
Nisha, don't stay here. You shouldn't.
Zach, I'm not a child. Let me listen. I have to know. I have to... Nisha, I heard that you had left Ophir, that you come back here often now. I know that I won't be able to see you and tell you all this in person. I don't have the courage for it. So I hope that someone will give you this message, that you will listen to this and that you will forgive me. I did something awful, something that haunts me every day, every instant. Something with which I cannot live today. You You have always been strong, so much more brilliant, prettier. And me, I was in your shadow, and I felt that I was suffocating. So I went to see a man, a thief. I knew that he could plant false evidence and that he turned in people to the ASC. I said that you knew some things about their trafficking, that you were dangerous to them. And it worked. Too well, because they came to arrest our whole group. And during all those years spent with you in the camp, I knew that we were here because of me. When I saw how they were torturing you, when Nick died, I also wanted to die, but they refused. Today, I still carry the weight of my mistake and I can't bear it anymore. So farewell, Nisha. Farewell and forgive me. Your sister, Gloria.
I'm sorry, Nisha. Come on, let's go. I'll take care of the funeral. Don't worry.
Praise to the Shadow. You are here. I was getting worried about you. What's going on, scum? Cain is moving to take power. He came with dozens of followers, killed many who stood in his way, threatened to do the same to countless more. As for you and I, Phobos, I promise that he has already planned our deaths.
Zachariah, it is not my life I worry for. He will kill any and all who stand against him. He will wipe out human cities, destroying those with little more than sticks and rocks to defend themselves. Blood will drench this planet.
And I'm sure all our names are probably topping the list. And we better make a move before it's too late.
Look what we have here. The fool who believed he was a more worthy chief than me. It is now my way or no way. Follow me, or follow death.
Will you never change, Cain? Is your only path the one stained with blood, paved with hate? The same hate destroying your own people? Look around. This valley was once filled with peace, but is now filled with gravestones. You cannot continue to lead our people down this road.
You have gone too far, Cain. Fight someone your own size.
Do not kill him. Even if his heart pumps with pure hatred, spilling it makes us no better than he. It ensures more blood will follow. Please, be better than he is.
Scum. If I were as good as you, I would not be me. And that is all I can be. One cannot continue to trim a weed that will not stop growing and spreading its seeds. One must rip it out by the roots. He will start wars among us, or between us. He cannot live another breath.
Zachariah, you are living proof that our people can live in harmony. You have helped us enormously, but now I believe it is time to make a decision.
We must present a chief to the Assembly.
The time for speaking, I am afraid, is dwindling. If our internal quarrels give rise to conflict within our own, we need someone to unite us. We must walk as one race, place differences aside.
Then it should be you. There is no mutant who lacks respect for you. And unlike Cain, your leadership will not spill blood.
As a strategist, though, you are greatly respected as well. Perhaps it is you who should run.
I'm not one of you, but I've traveled with you, Phobos. I've seen what you bring. You could be the chief they need. Now. At least think about it.
And I believe you would fill such a role much better than I. I have wisdom, yes, but yours comes with the rigors of youth, which I lost some time ago.
If both of you, in your hearts, truly believe it is best for us all, then, yes, I will run and see then what the people have to say. Zach, thank you for your support. I will always be here to lend you aid whenever you should need it, and I pray that you will find peace.
Thank you, Phobos. I wish you the same. And a little luck for both of us.
Friends, brothers, most know me. I am Phobos. I was one of the first seeds of our nation. I lead the fight for the deliverance of our race. Together, we fled from the corporations. We built our homes in this valley and forged it into our promised land. But our fight is not over. Freedom must be spread across Mars. Come, fight with me. Let us end this oppression and free all of our brothers who remain in chains. Only then can they experience the same peace and happiness that we have made for ourselves.
Zachariah, we must talk.
About what?
This is your safe house. The ASC could not reach you here, correct?
That's the hope.
But consider this. Even if Victor cannot reach you here, how many times has he tried to impede you, to track you? You've already had to escape from his grasp twice. Perhaps the time has come to be less passive, to gather your allies and take the offensive for once. Word of the power he accumulates in the People's Assembly of Abundance is terrifying. I speak not of violence, but perhaps of some other way to bring him down. With all that you have done for so many, I am certain many would be more than willing to come to your aid, and even more invigorated when that aid will bring such a tyrant to his knees. You have our support, the Technomancers, and any others you can gather. And from the great heights to which he has climbed, the fall will be tremendous. He will not recover.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it is time to take the offensive.
Zachariah, to what do I owe this privilege?
I'm looking for work. You need help with anything?
Our nation is just beginning. There is enough work for 1 billion men. For example, an old, worn-down pump at one of our artesian wells has stopped working. And where it is, a creature lurks, terrifying our workers, keeping them from the repairs. If you could, get rid of the creature and make the repairs. You may need a good mechanic, unless you're able to repair it on your own.
Let me see what I can do. Tell me what you know about Phobos.
We are not too well acquainted as I am new to here, but what I can say is that he is incredible, courageous, and intelligent. A large reason the valley has become what it is today. He freed many dozens of us, forged trade agreements for us with Noctis, kept us informed of the news from Abundance. Unlike many, never once has he let himself be blinded with hate for humans. When he speaks, mutants listen. He has seeded our young nation, and for that, he has my eternal respect.
What do you know about Kane?
Our murderous brother, ragefully violent, greedy for power, hungry for revenge, chose his name from the legendary assassin of the settlers, a hero whose legend he hopes to live up to. His only drive is to eradicate humankind, and his hate has become contagious, gathering followers who feel the need for revenge deep within their hearts. It is not that they are wrong, for all the hurt they have suffered. It is just that, for a hopeful future, they are not right.
What do you know about Seth?
Little. A companion of Phobos at one time. And together, they helped found the valley before they grew apart. Seth was drawn by Kane's hateful rhetoric, and sucked into his bitterness.
Can you tell me about Deimos?
He chose his freedom name when Phobos did. Not bright, but dedicated with a loyal, caring heart. He was very involved in the development of our valley, and as far as I know, committed to Phobos' cause.
Where are you from?
The mines that would become Camp 19 during the war. I was born a slave, the last of the long line of mutants. The first, I am told, to have committed the treachery that cost him their face and soul.
Tell me you don't believe that bullshit.
The beliefs one are raised in are hard to shake, no matter how hard one tries. Since I have been here, talked to Phobos and others, it has become a story that seems less than likely. If you wish to know of the mines from which I came, there is little I can tell. They dug for water and ore. It was harsh, isolated. Then it became a camp and it changed and became hell.
You crossed the desert to get here, didn't you? How'd that go?
It is a desert now, only by name. Our planet is changing, growing, with or without its inhabitants. The lichen has been spreading, and at night, the dunes come alive with life. Dangerous, yes, but it is telling how your kind have turned this planet into a large rock with just a few cities. You dream of leaving it, and that is good for you. But for my kind, there is no hope of acceptance back on the blue marble. This is our home, from now into eternity. And with that, it is with great joy that I witness our planet open itself up to life.
I heard you escaped. How'd you do it?
Through a very sad and beautiful story. Sad because of the lives such success cost. Beautiful for the outcome it created. Are you aware of the conditions of the prisoner camps? Factories of pain and sadness. Mutants are harassed by fellow inmates and guards alike. Beaten, mistreated, forced to work. Many died from exhaustion or untreated wounds. One day, one of my people had fallen from exhaustion. I tried to stop a guard from hitting him. Understand, I am not violent, but their violence had to stop, so I struck the guard, and after that, events escalated. Rioting soon had become the only solution. We never had the thought of running away, only the need to show we would not live in those conditions anymore. A man, another prisoner, gave us aid.
You remember his name?
Yes, Roy Temperance. He had a boy. Innocence, I believe. They gave us tools to defend ourselves, but the key to our escape came with the death of the camp's administrator.
A soldier?
A Technomancer, placed there by his superiors for disobeying orders, from what I understood. No one dared look him in the eyes. His name was, if I recall correctly, Sean Mancer. Did you know him?
Yeah, I knew Sean. He was my master. He was growing tired of the path Abundance was taking, and he probably said it one too many times to one too many people.
I am sorry, Zachariah. Even if his death made way for our escape, I can feel your pain.
Hello. How are you?
Someone told me about you, so I wanted to come say thanks. Your instructions helped me save my friend.
I'm just happy you got there in time. We would have helped ourselves, but feared letting humans know free mutants roam around.
Don't blame you. You see what led to all of that? By the time I got there, they tortured my friend, and the Technomancer in charge was leaving.
Found himself surrounded by the Technomancer and his soldiers, who wanted to know where they could find a man named Zachariah. You, I suppose.
What did he tell him?
Not the answer you are scared he gave. He said nothing of your location. Instead, he told this other Technomancer that he knew who he was, but it did not seem to matter. The question was asked again. This time your friend screamed back that he knew who he was, and that they must listen to him. That is when they began to beat him, and he began to scream for mercy. Mercy that would not come, even as he screamed that he could do something for them. The violence only grew. That is when we ran to warn Dandolo. What he was offering to do for them, I do not know. He never said. But it did not matter anyway. All they wanted to know was where you were. Nothing else to them mattered. The torture lasted for hours. Your friend may be not all there, but his loyalty cannot be doubted.
Thanks. And thank you for going to Dandolo.
Of course.